The Hunger Games may be about kids killing each other on live TV for a commentary on, I don't fucking know, I never played it. Watched or read it. But what I have played is on the wonderful world of BrantSteele.com. Therein lies a Hunger Games simulator in which you can input any character, object, or person you wish into the randomized Hunger Games, where instead of tridents and swords, tributes to kill each other by, I don't know, insulting waifus or with spoons. So, and it all lies beyond this disclaimer and terms and conditions you did not read. So let's get started. And how the fuck do I work at any of this? What's what I'm here to teach. Thing, you want to decide the size of your roster. So to do that, click here where it says adjust size and pick either 24, 36, or 48 tributes. And yes, it can only be those exact numbers. For this demonstration, I'm going to use 48. To the part I'm sure many of you are interested in, adding your own custom characters to these. To do this, first start off by clicking Edit Cast, then scroll down to the bottom here and hit Restart. This will clear all names and genders of preset tributes, and will also give you the opportunity to make your own custom season name and with a custom logo, or you could use the default if you prefer. And to add characters, start by inputting names. And nicknames. So I'll do the ones for District 1 here. Typically what I do is, since the second slot is nicknames, which we will actually see in the Hunger Games, I put full names first, nicknames second. Oh, and nicknames are every second one. Full names you see on the reaping screen are the first. So I'm just doing it from District 1 here. Also, you also need to add in your player gender, so which you see a question mark here, but that doesn't do anything. It will just read as invalid if you try to go through with this. So, and you can only pick from male female options, so no neutral / non-binary options for anyone. Also, there's this show section here. I have played this for 2 years and I still do not know what the fuck this does. Now, onto the part I dread every single time I do one of these. For as much fun as BrantSteele is when you've set up, holy shit, no offense to you, Brant, if you're watching, but this site has the shittiest method of inputting images I have ever seen. Who needs importing images like a normal person instead of having no, what's better is putting a shitload of links, having them to all end in a very specific image endings, or else they're invalid, and having the simulator look like a mess if you don't include them, at least in my stupid opinion. So here's what I usually do. I have created my own Discord server where I've put all my images. Now you can do this on like a paste bin or a Word document if you'd prefer, but I just find this more convenient using Discord. So basically, I copy the link to any images and do it 48 times, 24, 36, depending on your tribute numbers. Just for this demonstration, I'm just going to show District 1, or else we'll have 2 hours of footage, as I wasn't... Fun fact, this video was re-recorded because I could not have been asked to edit down 2 hours of footage of adding images. If you're not organized, it can take that long. So, oh yeah, something else I recommend is post the tribute's name on the Discord or wherever you put these. I don't fucking know. Then the image, then their nickname. Every odd number image is an alive image. Every even is a dead, which we'll see when our tributes get eliminated. You can also technically make all dead images an X or black and white, as well as not use them at all, but I don't recommend that. Personally, I recommend getting as few dead images as possible, or even just leaving them at black and white, because to not make the process twice as long. Like, for example, for this video, I only got dead images for 2 tributes, which I'm going to input here. Also, there's a little recommendation because a problem I, in my years of using this site, have run into countless times. See this? If your image doesn't end in .jpg, .gif, or .png, it'll be invalid and you cannot proceed. But if you choose don't use images at all, like the capital BW for black and white, it'll be a capital skip. If you have an invalid image and don't have the time to just find a new one, what I recommend doing is input skip where that invalid image was, and legit no image will show up during the sim, but everyone else will technically be in here when you go back to edit later. Thankfully, we have that solution because holy fuck, I would not know what I would do if there was an invalid image if there wasn't. I'm not gonna stay on this subject for long because I could rant about this for an hour, and we have to get on to other important shit and issues with this wonderful site. Segue. So after repetitive image adding hell, you might want to save your season so you don't have to do that again. At least until you make a new one. So to do that, well, there's a fucking save over here. Click this. Make sure you press yes, and this is important as some generous souls who have helped me with 100 games in the past have fallen victim to this. Once you press yes, do not copy the link at the top of the page. Copy the one on screen. Otherwise, as some people watching this video might know, you'll just be sent as a stock 100 name. So either copy link address or this code right here. And I recommend you post that link somewhere where you can find it. A Discord DM, the server like I have here, so. And before you right place, I'd recommend testing it twice, because for some reason, sometimes it takes you to the stock one the first time. If it sends you here, you're safe to just keep the link wherever. Alternatively, there's this code here, which is another way of loading seasons. Just copy this or write it down somewhere, head to load season and input it, and that will take you to your saved season. So by this point, you're about ready to start. You've got your roster, your game set up and saved. But if you want to make your 100 games truly unique, there's the customizations options. Starting with the simpler of the two, custom text. Here in options, you can pick a few small settings for your 100 games, like death rate, decrease the Cornucopia Feast running rate, enable or disable arena events, we'll get to those, and custom text. This allows you to replace text like day, cannon shots have been heard in the distance, the reaping, fuck, what the fuck did I say there? And alive or dead with gamers. I am alive is nice. I am dead, and pretty much any reference you feel like, just it doesn't have a huge amount, but it's a fun little thing to add. I'm gonna leave that in. But not least, the secret to turning your 100 aims to the average simulator to absolute hell lies right here in the Modify Events tab. Here, you'll see the list of events that may occur in the 100 aims, from the roughly 50 to 70 stock ones for each time period, or time of day more accurately, and the ones you add. Like with images, I recommend you make a channel for this on your Discord or document. What I usually do is copy and paste them, but I'll instruct you on how to type them out yourself. Well, first, as you probably guess, go to add new to add a new event, and take a note of this text right here. When making an event, make sure to add player 1 number, or player number where a player's name goes. Also add he/she, him/her, his/her, or himself/herself, where each number indicates the player number's gender. Example, player spears player 2 in his/her abdomen. Important thing on that player 1 and he/she bit, write it like this. Not player space 1. Not player 1 with a lowercase p, or with a different bracket type than what I'm using. It has to be player 1, or else the tribute's name isn't going to read in the 100 aims. The same logic applies to the genders too, like his/her 1. Also, for cases where the pronoun is capitalized, write the genders like this. Make sure the H and S are both capitalized, or HH, depending on context. In addition, events can only be up to 100 characters long and feature up to 6 tributes. Where a second player's name goes, type something like player 3, or player 2, player 3, player 4, player 5, player 6, and so on. And the same rule applies as to player 1. So, as a random demonstration event, I'm gonna include here, well, if you're not copy pasting them, that is. That's the code. Oops. Player 1 makes a 100 game simulator tutorial and posts this on YouTube. And as you might notice, this is only for the Bloodbath. Only got added to the Bloodbath events. To add events to other times of day, just copy paste them into that time, or whatever time they're suitable, I guess. Because you don't want all your good shit just happening in the day, for example. The Bloodbath, Day, Night, and Feast on the left are non-fatal events, where no one will die. As you might notice, it says fatal here, and next, and here are where you put the events for Bloodbath, Day, Night, and Feast, where someone, well, dies. So another random one I have here. Player 1 goes back in time to beat the shit out of his/her past self. Kills him from the present. Good job. To indicate who dies, simply hit yes for killed and yes if there's a killer. If it's an accident, there probably isn't a killer. And also note for events with multiple players, it will always kill in the order of player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4, etc., etc. So if the event is player 2 causes a bomb that kills player 3 and player 1, player 1 will always die first in that scenario. So just something to keep in mind. So here, player 1 is technically killing themselves, so I'll put killer and killed here. And same logic applies as regular events from there. The final type of events, we have arena events. How these work is, sometimes these will randomly occur in the middle of games because of a specific natural disaster or tragedy and will usually probably wipe out half your roster. Depends on how your death rate is set and when they occur. But of course, at events, to go there and event title, this will describe what happens or what causes the arena event. So, to come up with something stupid on the spot, the gods decide to execute you, those deemed as cringe. Don't lose fucking subscriber. I can't spell. I can't spell. Ah! So, surviving scenario. Player 1 is base, or just player 1 survives something. No one dies here. Scenario 1. These always have to kill a single tribute, but the rest can kill as many or as few as you like. So for the first, player 1 is deemed cringe. And of course, they fucking die. All 5 of these need to be filled out, by the way, in order for the event to work. The arena event, that is. I did a test with only 2 or 3 scenarios filled in, and it didn't work. So for scenario 2, 3, 4, and 5, you can just treat those like a normal fatal event. So player 1 and player 2, both cringe. I literally came up with this event on the spot, help. So yeah, just be careful about killing more than 2 or 3 tributes in one of these fatal events, because trust me, these things already can wipe out half your or 3/4 of your roster in some cases if you're not careful. So just be aware of that. Hey everyone, Yosh here. Can you tell this is unscripted? I just want to say the generic YouTuber shit of thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notifications, like and comment and subscribe. Don't forget to God, this is a mess. But there's also something else I want to mention, or I want to get this unscripted part. The 100 names I used for the purpose of this video is in the description for anyone who wants to play it or use it as a base to make their own, since it already has a ton of events, which will be handier than making a shitload yourself. There's also apparently an updated 100 name simulator where I think you can have more tributes and there's some other things different, but I'm doing it on the, I guess, original one because that's what I know. I wasn't about to learn a whole new sim for the sake of a video. But other than that, thanks for watching my first real video. I'm grateful for any feedback. Constructive criticism is allowed. Actually, I encourage it, actually. And I don't know what else to say. First video done. Yosh out. Yay.